For plastic surgeons, there's quite a bit we wish we knew now when we started. Stay tuned for a full throttle insider edition of Hey Doc. Hey Doc audience, here with world-renowned surgeon Dr. Rohrich. And Rod, what do you know now that you wish you knew back when you started?
I think I'd sum it up by long road ahead, which I didn't know. You know, when we became doctors, I went, to medical school and finished at Baylor. And, you thought you knew everything when you got the MD, and I got to shake Dr. DeBakey's hand, and I still have that photo somewhere. And you thought you were at the top of the world. And my mom thought, gee, okay, now you're done. Well, you're not done. You're barely started. I didn't know how much a long route and endurance run it would be. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So delayed gratification is the name of the game in medicine, wouldn't you say, for us? Because it's not like our friends and our classmates in college. By the time we're done, they were middle-level executives or middle-level lawyers.
Yeah.
And we were still residents.
Yep.
Doing 80 hours or more a week.
What got you interested in plastic surgery?
Well, I grew up on a farm and a ranch in North Dakota, and there wasn't a doctor in 100 miles, so I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a primary care doctor because there truly wasn't. If you survived going 100 miles to the nearest doctor, it was kind of Darwinian. You made it. So I kind of wanted to be a doctor just so I could help people. I think the rest is history. How about you?
Yeah, when I actually thought I wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon because I had played a lot of sports growing up and injuries, and I kind of had some role models that were orthopedic surgeons that I looked up to. And so that's what I thought when I went to medical school. That's what I wanted to do. And then what happened was I got into the clinical rotations, and it was just, I have so many good friends that are orthopedics, but I was like, this is like carpentry, it's like hammering and this, and, going to the ER and setting bone fractures. And I had just done general surgery and cardiothoracic surgery, which I loved. And I was like, man, I need to look around. And then one of my friends, I was at Vanderbilt, and one of my friends was 2 years ahead of me, and he was going into plastic surgery. And so I started looking at this. So I did a rotation, and one of my role models, Dr. Bruce Shack, you know him well.
Awesome
They called him the Shack Attack. He was just full throttle, and literally, and you have a lot of these mentors over the years. You find out these people they're the smartest people but Dr. Shack was I was like, oh my God, this guy is an encyclopedia of knowledge. No matter what that you would talk to him about, he'd ask a question, and then he'd just off the top of his head talk about it with the group for 30 minutes, And so I was really impressed with that, and I also was impressed just by the essence of what we know plastic surgery as is the meticulous aspect of plastic surgery. Everything was well planned out, and you didn't do anything. You didn't put just some big huge suture in and it'll be fine. Everything was closed meticulously, and that really fit my personality. So that's how I got into it. You meet so many incredible mentors and role models, and
right.
But that time is what you don't know is how incredibly valuable and precious that time is, and whether you could really maximize it, because you're half the time you've been up a day and a half or something, or there's a million things going on, but you do have just giants that you've interacted with, and so
right.
That it would be great to go back sometimes and really maximize those experiences.
Yeah. But I have a Bill Adams story because he mentions Bruce Shack. Now, Bruce Shack, I was just starting to build UT Southwestern, and so Bruce Shack was like a big name, and so he calls me about Bill Adams. He said, he said, Rod, you got to interview this guy, student. He's different. He's like the best of the best at Vanderbilt, and I don't ever say that because he was then taking general surgeons only. And I said, okay, but he was, very staccato talking, and he's phenomenal. And so I said, okay. So then, and then when we had you over, and then he calls me again. And, and at that time, people didn't do that. They would write. And so Bruce calls me again, and he met me at a meeting. So I said, okay. I said, we're taking Bill Adams. I said, that's what I thought. I remember going to the faculty meeting and say, okay, we're taking Bill Adams. Those were the days. But you got to find your passion, find what you want to do, right? And then go with it. because it's your life. It's probably the most important decision you're going to make in your life. If you're going into medicine, you know, medicine or surgery. You know, I definitely didn't want to do medicine because I wanted to think and act, you know, and that's surgery.
Yeah. I think that's so true. You know, I think we both love what we do, and that justifies, you know, all the hours and time you put into it. But it's great, and I wouldn't go back and change anything either, because it's been full throttle, and it still remains that way. But, you know, we want to hear from you out there. What have you seen? What do you wish you knew, you know, back then that you know now? So leave us a comment below, and we'll see you next time.